All right, if you are farming crypto airdrops, there's a lot of things that you can do today to increase your chances of qualifying in 2024. So let's start off with one of the bigger ones, which is Linea. Now, currently the Linea voyage is ongoing and they periodically release new quests on this page right here that give you LXP. And if you have LXP in your wallet on the Linea network, you are eventually going to be able to convert that into an airdrop, into the actual Linea token. So they have the Linea Park on right now, and the next section of these games just unlocked. So there's 5 tasks that you can complete and earn LXP for doing so. But they've also actually launched 2 additional quests that you can complete to earn LXP, one with live finance and one through the Clutch Linea AI Fest. And this one right here is super easy. Actually, the Clutch Linea thing, all you need to do is go to this Interact page, follow on Twitter, retweet one thing, and then you go to this page right here, Clutch, and you just need to enter in a prompt. So let's say a photo of the fox getting a massive Linea airdrop. And then you just have to generate an NFT. And currently the system is overloaded, so you might have to wait for a few hours in order to be able to verify. But then once it does go through, you can go back to the Interact page and verify. So that's 150 Linea experience points. Very easy to access. Now for the live finance, it's actually broken down into 4 separate tasks that you can complete, and you actually have about a month in order to be able to finish this. So these are great opportunities to start farming the Linea airdrop if you haven't yet. And if you already have Linea experience points, of course, you definitely still want to go and collect and accumulate as many as possible. Next up, let's talk about SolBlaze. So this is one of my favorite liquid staking Solana tokens. And if you hold BSol, which is a liquid stake Solana token, or use BSol in DeFi on different Solana DeFi apps like MarginFi, Camino, etc., then you qualify for the SolBlaze airdrop, which is regularly ongoing. And the next Blaze airdrop is happening within 24 hours. So it's been a little while since we got one, but if you've been waiting and wondering what's happening, it looks like it's going to be coming through very soon. All right, next up, I wanted to talk about Pyth staking. So there's 2 things that I wanted to highlight. For starters, there's still a bunch of proposals on right now on the Pyth network. So if you're staking Pyth tokens, you can go and vote in these governance proposals. There's a ton of them on right now, and it's possible that having participated in Pyth governance will be some sort of prerequisite to get airdrops for staking the Pyth tokens. So I definitely recommend going and voting on these. It doesn't even really matter what you vote, you just have to put in a vote. But on the topic of Pyth staking and airdrops, let's talk about DGenBase. So DGenBase announced a couple of weeks ago that they were going to be dropping tokens to Pyth stakers, but then they recently turned around and said that you don't just have to stake Pyth, which was originally what they said, but you also have to go to their app and make a deposit of $20. Now, it's not a major risk to deposit $20 and speculate on this, but there's a few things that make this annoying and also a red flag. For starters, there's fees to do this, so DGenBase is making money off of you now. On the one hand, they could say, well, all you're doing is staking Pyth tokens, so why should they reward you? But on the other hand, they announced just last week that you would be rewarded simply for staking, and now they have changed their position and said that you actually have to make a deposit. So that is a major red flag. I don't like moving goalposts like that. And if you go through the comment section of the post where they announced this change, you'll see that a lot of people aren't happy with this. And I don't think that this is just a case of entitled e-beggars wanting something for free. Because in my opinion, the proper approach for this is to either just drop the token like you said you were going to, or if you require certain tasks to be completed in order to qualify for an airdrop, you say that clearly beforehand and you don't just change it afterwards. It's definitely strange, a bit of a red flag. And so for me personally, I'm not going to be participating in this. I don't know if it's actually a scam or if they just realized that they had an opportunity to make a bunch of money by charging fees for people that are hoping to get an airdrop, but I don't like the way that they've run it. And I feel like this wasn't actually going to be a super lucrative airdrop anyways. And if I'm wrong, then honestly, I'm happy for the people that get it. But I'd rather just be safe than sorry, and I'm gonna sit out. Next up, let's talk about the Métis L2. Now, I haven't really talked about that this much on this channel. I might have only mentioned it once or twice, but if you were a community tester and you participated in their testnet, you can now go and claim your NFTs. And the mainnet, of course, is actually live, and they also have a bunch of quests on layer 3, Introduction to Métis, where you can go and earn points and NFTs for completing these tasks. So if you were farming the Métis L2 with their testnet, definitely make sure you go and check to see which NFTs you're eligible for and claim them. And if you want to continue working on the mainnet, you can now work on these quests on layer 3. Now, going back to the topic of airdrops to avoid, this right here is something that I found on Twitter, which just seems like an absolute dystopian nightmare. So this, I'm not recommending anybody do this unless you have a complete burner device and you're gonna put it somewhere where you don't mind being overheard. But how this one works is you download this app, Silencio Network, and then it listens to you, it listens to your environment, and you earn noise tokens based on how often you have it live, where it's just listening in on everything that you're doing. So this is some next level dystopian nightmare nonsense in an airdrop wrapper. I will definitely not be participating in this one, as if I want this sketchy, unheard of app listening to everything that I'm doing. Okay, next up, a little piece of intel on dBridge Finance, because I had a full tutorial on how to actually use this bridge and I included it in my $100 bridge airdrop experiment. Well, the other day they posted on Twitter that loyalty will be rewarded. And this is a novel concept because most of us that are farming these bridge airdrops like Stargate, Wormhole, Jumper, etc. are using as many bridges as possible, as often as possible. And so the concept of bridge loyalty is quite new, and I will definitely receive a massive nerf in my points if dBridge is only going to be rewarding people that are loyal and only use that one bridge. And thinking about this, it doesn't exactly make a lot of sense to me because not many people are going to want to use just one bridge, especially since dBridge isn't actually enabled on every network that you might want to go to. But then also I feel like a good airdrop strategy is for protocols and apps to try to send their tokens to users of other platforms as an incentive to try and win them over, to try and steal their market cap. So this is an interesting thing that we'll have to watch what this loyalty reward is going to mean. But also one of the dBridge guys commented in this thread that if you make a cross-chain trade, so a bridge transaction going from one network to another, that counts towards their point system. But if you make a swap on the same chain, so if you say swap from ETH to USDC on the Arbitrum chain, then that doesn't count because that just goes through a DEX like 1inch or Jupiter. So that's something to keep in mind. If you were trying to farm dBridge by swapping between different tokens on the same network, that actually won't earn any points for you. So you have to be literally bridging. All right, next up, another testnet, Tyco. They keep dropping more and more of these galaxy quests where you can earn points for doing some annoying social tasks like following them on Twitter. And I feel like every single time they drop one of these, it's like, follow me on Twitter. Well, yeah, obviously I already did that because I did the other quests. But anyways, you might as well go and complete these. You have to watch a YouTube video. You have to answer a quiz. I'll throw the answers to the quiz down below. And then anyways, this last one here is the one that you should really be interested in, which is to earn the Tyconut achievement on Guild XYZ. So yes, now Tyco has a guild on Guild XYZ. So you can now go and join, mint the guild pin. And if you collect 3 tickets, so by doing 3 of these separate tasks here, then you can get the Tyconut achievement and then collect the points for doing that. So definitely go and start working on this if you're trying to farm the Tyco testnet airdrop. The deadline for this is March 4th, so it is somewhat time sensitive. Now, moving on to other things that you can do today to potentially qualify for airdrops. Well, you could mint one of these blue dot NFTs on Zora. Base, the Base L2 network released this, and it's an open mint, a free mint, of course, plus the Zora mint fees, which is like $1 or $2 depending on when you actually purchase it. And I'm one of the people that doesn't really think that Base is going to drop a token, but minting one of these also helps you tick the box for the Zora airdrop. And if they do end up releasing a token someday, it doesn't actually hurt to do it since it's pretty much a free mint anyways. So you could go and collect one of these if you want to. And then on the topic of Base, they just launched this Base Hunt Games. It's in conjunction with their ETH Denver promotions, but you can go and connect your wallet and play these games. And really, they're not actually games. It's like mint this NFT here, or receive this NFT, or hold 100 USDC on Base, or have 10 transactions on Base. So to call it games is a little bit of a stretch, but you can go and actually collect these points. Who knows what they're actually going to be worth or what the point is going to be. If you minted that Base penny, which I actually mentioned on the channel a couple of videos back, then you can earn some points for doing that. So with a pretty minimal time investment on your part, you can go collect a bunch of these points. And if you think that Base is going to drop a token, you might as well go and do it. So let's see here. I definitely have more than 10 transactions on Base. So if I click here, okay, it's just easy like that. You can just claim points by clicking You don't even have to actually mint. Do I have 50 transactions on Base? Well, yeah, apparently I do. Cool. So that's it for today's video. Lots of time-sensitive things in there and lots of tasks that you can do to keep farming these airdrops and make sure that you qualify for as many as possible in 2024 and beyond. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.